So there are a lot of great assets out there. So everything from helicopters, you got single engine air tankers, and then you got the big boys, the LATs and VLATs. And we kind of have a nice, cool sweet spot right in the middle of those. So helos are great for pinpoint drops. They, of course, they have the ability to hover, and they can really get down to the nail drop of kind of a drop where the firefighters need. But sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes you need a wider swath. So that's where the scoopers are great. So they carry 14 to 12 gallons of water, and they basically have a spread about 100 yards, depending on height and wind and all that stuff. So these airplanes will basically come in at about anywhere from 50 to 100 feet up. So they have the ability to go really low and slow, and just have a long wash of water, and that allows for a larger area, and also because of the weight of the water, 14 and 12 gallons of water, it actually also crushes down the water, the fire, and suppresses it. So it's pretty cool. And what's something that people don't realize, everyone thinks about helicopters and the versatility, which is absolutely true. But the big difference with these guys is that they have more speed and they have a lot more distance. And so that means they can actually get to fires, depending on where they are, much quicker. So that's a pretty cool advantage. And then the fact that, again, because of their speeds, they're going at 160, 170 knots, they can go and do cycles much quicker around helicopters. And again, it's no knock on helicopters. They do exactly what they're meant to do perfectly, but we just serve a different role. And so because of that speed and because of that time, just in the last couple days on the Elmo fire, these airplanes were able to actually drop over 100 drops in a 4-hour duty cycle. So basically for fuel, it's a 4-hour cycle. And for pilots, it's an 8-hour cycle, so we can't go beyond that. So we have to all work within those parameters with your force surfaces, so everything's managed carefully. And then you have the large tankers. So they serve a very, very different role. So what their deal is that, so if you think about a house fire, when you have fires coming at you, you want to build that moat around your house to protect from fires to protect your house from catching on fire, right? So what the retardant guys do is they'll come around and they'll drop the retardant around your house and basically create a moat to protect your house. Now the issue is that when your house is on fire, then that's not their role. That they're not designed to suppress or extinguish fire. So that's where the water comes in. So what's a really great thing about these guys is that they don't have to go back to tanker base every time to reload. So sometimes, even though their capacity is huge with these LATs and VLATs, they got to potentially go all the way back to, say in this case, Missoula on the Elmo fire, and that's going to be about a 20-minute round trip. So it takes a little bit longer. They got to, every time they land, they got to go through the checks, and they go through all the process that you would experience on a commercial jet, right? So all during that time, our planes are able to just go to the water source and go back to the fire and just keep circling all day long until they have to go back for fuel or their duty cycle's over. And so, like I said, they're really right in the middle of helicopters, small engine tankers, and single engine tankers, and the huge LATs and VLATs.